Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. What happened, leftoids? I thought you were supposed to be the compassionate ones. I thought you guys were the ones to give the shirt off your own back for the kids and the migrants. But just like that, folks, just as fast as this group of illegal migrants from Florida came, they've gone. You see how quick to act and how efficient these Democrats are when there's actual motivation to get something done? Less than 24 hours, in fact, significantly less than 24 hours after these migrants landed in Martha's Vineyard, they're already gone, as magically a group of buses came in within a couple hours to pick them up and bring them literally anywhere but Martha's Vineyard. Typical Democrats. Problems don't exist. Problems only exist if it happens within the confines of their gated communities. The same thing that we saw with all the rioting in 2020. Well, once again, liberal hypocrisy is showing. We covered the hypocrisy in general in this situation, but now let's talk about the Democrat response because it brings up another point entirely. We've got some stuff to get into, folks. So let's roll the tape. Alright friends, so take a look at this. That was quick. Buses arrive at Martha's Vineyard and deport illegals off the island. On Wednesday, Republican Florida Governor Ron DeSantis sent 2 planes carrying illegal immigrants to the island of Martha's Vineyard, an exclusive elite liberal community that prides itself on its tolerance and its sanctuary status. Rather than fly the illegals in the dead of night hidden from public view like Joe Biden, Governor DeSantis flew the migrants to the leftist enclave in broad daylight. Democrats were furious that Governor DeSantis would pull off such a stunt. How dare he expose the liberal left for their disgusting hypocrisy. And speaking of hypocrisy, the Gateway pundit is not lying when they describe Martha's Vineyard as a liberal community that prides itself on its tolerance and sanctuary status. Here's a poster of a photo that you could find on the island of Martha's Vineyard. We respect women. We value Black lives. We stand with our LGBT community members. We stand with immigrants, with refugees, and with indigenous people, and people of all faiths. We stand with our community. Well, let's just say Martha's Vineyard isn't exactly living up to that 4th bullet point, because almost immediately as the migrants landed, they've already been kicked off the island. We stand with immigrants and refugees and indigenous people. We just want them to stand on the other side of the shore. We'll stand here, and they'll stand all the way over there. Completely stupid. On Friday, less than 36 hours later, the sanctuary island of Martha's Vineyard deported the illegal aliens in buses. Buses have arrived in Edgartown to transport migrants from St. Andrew's Parish House. There is 1 big bus and 2 shorter buses to transport folks off the island. People with bags are taking selfies and hugging volunteers goodbye. I mean, talk about compassionate liberals. Apparently the limit of their compassion is less than 30 hours after such a big talk about how the rich should help the poor and how sanctuary cities need to provide shelter and services for illegal migrants that cross the border. And of course, liberal tolerance and liberal compassion was tested here. And once again, liberals prove that they care more about their exclusive property status, real estate prices, and community safety, a whole lot more than anything else. And liberals do what liberals do best. They ship the problem somewhere else. Completely ridiculous. I mean, what do you think is going to happen? The same thing that always happens, and the same thing that happens in every Democrat city and state. All of these illegal migrants are going to be sent to the least affluent communities. They're going to dust off their hands and say, well, it's your problem now. Deal with it, and they'll leave them stranded. They'll inject them into working class communities to compete for working class jobs, to continue to put a strain on public services and public schools, and of course they'll probably pat themselves on the back while they do it. Oh, how compassionate. We're so compassionate. We support you. We just don't support you here. Run along, peasant. Off to the ghetto with you. It comes back to the same point once again. First of all, it's rules for thee and not for me. But secondly, it falls in line with what we always see when it comes to Democrats. They ship the problem to somebody else, and they continue to virtue signal about it. Their policies are going to continue to cause harm in communities that they're not a part of. Inner city communities are the ones that are hit the hardest by illegal immigration. And then of course they're going to campaign and try to get reelected endlessly off the same problems that they ship elsewhere. They decimate the community, and then they run on platforms of government reliance and stimulus. Vote for us, the economy's so bad, we're going to give you $500. And it's the same thing with illegal migrants. The higher the influx of non-skilled illegal migrants into the country, the more downward pressure on wages there is, especially at the bottom end of the economic scale. Wages continue to plummet and go down and down and down, and then they run campaigns on how wages aren't keeping up with inflation. Yeah, no Sherlock. It's you. You're the problem. And this right here is the kind of stuff that we're talking about when we mention elitist liberals. This is the epitome of elitist liberalism. Black lives matter. We're advocates for black lives, they keep telling you. But if you look at all of their communities, they're all living in the most white communities you could possibly imagine. I mean, for Pete's sakes, even Patrice Cancoolers and the rest of these Black Lives Matter hacks, what's the first thing they did after making millions off their BLM grift? Well, they bought a house in Topanga Canyon, the whitest zip code in California. Democrats cause problems and then they run on fixing the problems that they caused, and then of course they never actually fix them, because that would essentially be counterproductive. I mean, it's kind of like Big Pharma, for instance. There's a reason why there isn't billions upon billions of dollars in cancer research. I mean, there is a significant amount of money in researching this type of stuff, but not nearly as much as you would think, considering how deadly cancer is. Well, that's because there's no real incentive for pharmaceutical companies and healthcare companies to cure cancer, because it's a cash cow for them. It's the same sort of concept. And speaking of leftoids now campaigning on the problems that they caused, Joe Biden is outraged that Ron DeSantis would do something so despicable, like sending 50 illegal migrants on a beautiful summer vacation to Martha's Vineyard.
We're committed to fixing the immigration system. Instead of working with us on solutions, Republicans are playing politics with human beings, using them as props. What they're doing is simply wrong. It's un-American. It's reckless. And we have a process in place to manage migrants at the border. We're working to make sure it's safe and orderly and humane. Republican officials should not interfere with that process by waging these political stunts.
Joe Biden is outraged over illegal migrants being transported across the United States. Oh, there's words that I would like to use right now, but I'm gonna try to keep it PG. What a complete clown this guy continues to be. Joe Biden is lecturing you on flying around illegal immigrants. What a jerk this guy is, as he is clearly one of the biggest proponents, one of the biggest figures in the modern human smuggling and human trafficking world. I mean, Joe Biden's basically the godfather of human smuggling, the Mexican human trafficking cartel employee of the year. But here's Karine Jean-Pierre explaining to you why when Republicans do it, it's very different than what Joe Biden is doing.
And then just if you can respond to Ron DeSantis' comment that this is apparently, he said it was essentially no different than what the federal government has done in sending, flights in the middle of the night. That's the way he's characterized it. Taking migrants to various different states. Do you have a response to that?
So we are offering solutions. That's what the Biden-Harris administration has been doing since day one, including on the first day putting forth a comprehensive immigration reform to deal with this issue. We have given DHS record funding. We have advanced policies. What have they done? They do these political stunts. They vote against our funding requests. They vote against policies to fix this broken system. Stunts aren't solutions here. Stunts aren't policies. We're over here trying to govern, trying to actually fix a system that has been broken for some time, trying to fix a system that was decimated by the last administration.
Ah, yes, Karine Jean-Pierre. Oh, wait, no, I literally learned nothing and I'm now stupider than I was 5 seconds ago. She claims that they're offering solutions. I've yet to see a single one. Of course, like I said, Democrats don't want solutions. Democrats want problems because that's what gets them elected. Then, of course, they want to smuggle in and grant amnesty to millions upon millions of new Democrat voters. These people are the absolute worst. That's what I got for you guys, though. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel if you guys are up for it. I'm gonna get back to work like usual. Thanks for watching, friends, and I will see you on the next one.